If there's one thing I want you to know right up front, it's this. When someone is pulling you close and then pushing you away and then acting like you're the problem for reacting to it, you're not really in a relationship. You're being manipulated. And the second you can see it, the whole spell breaks. You stop twisting yourself into a pretzel trying to make it work, and you start recognizing the truth. This person is taking what they want. They're not necessarily feeling any accountability for that, and somehow they're getting you to go along with it. Now, if you grew up with abuse or neglect, this pattern might feel weirdly familiar. People like us who are traumatized, we can get pulled into romantic manipulation without even realizing it's happening. Someone comes into your life, they move really fast, they turn on the charm, they pull you in, and then right when you start to bond, they back away. And then they pressure you to put up with that. And suddenly you're giving more and more, you're trying to change yourself, and you're walking around with this low-level fear and shame grinding you down every day. And, they are fine. They're feeling good. They're getting everything they want at arm's length from you while you're carrying the emotional load. So let's talk about what manipulators actually say, because once you hear these lines for what they really are, you can't unhear them. The magic trick that they're trying to use, it just stops working on you. So one of the big ones is, you're too jealous. Now, have you noticed how this gets thrown at you right when they're flirting with other people? Or they're sleeping with other people, in fact? Jealousy is a normal emotion when you have a romantic bond with someone and they're violating the exclusivity that naturally grows in a relationship. It doesn't make you crazy. It usually just means things moved way too fast, faster than the relationship could support. You got attached, you want monogamy, that's not what formed. So go slow and don't settle for someone who shames you for wanting fidelity. All right, the next line is, your problem is that you have expectations. Manipulators love this. They want you to feel embarrassed for having standards. They want you to abandon them, and they want you to think that wanting something real, wanting clarity, wanting commitment is somehow uncool or needy. No, that's just them trying to keep the relationship tilted in their favor. So don't drop your ideals to make someone else more comfortable. All right, here's another classic. I'm sure I told you I was seeing other people. And you're thinking, no, actually you didn't. But they say it with so much confidence that you start doubting yourself. And to be fair, sometimes we don't want to hear certain things. But if someone is always rewriting history, always insisting, they told you things you definitely would have remembered, that's not clarity. That's manipulation. If you can't be honest, or they can't be honest, it's just not a fit. You can save so much heartbreak by walking away early. All right, here's another one. I never suggested those plans. And your red flag detector is just lighting up because, yes, they did. They said they were going to spend the weekend with you or take a trip with you. Now they're backing out and they're lying to make it seem like you got it wrong. This is not someone who's confused. They're manipulating. Now, one of my least favorites is, hey, just be in the moment. And these new agey little digs, you're not in your body, you're not present. They sound deep, but they're actually vague criticisms that you can't defend yourself against. You are in your body. You're in the moment. You are. You can't be in any other moment. What they really mean is stop having boundaries. Stop asking questions. Stop slowing things down when I want them. And you know what? If being true to yourself makes them lose interest, let them lose interest. It's so common for those of us who grew up neglected or abused to abandon ourselves under pressure. And it helps if you know the signs that early trauma may be the thing affecting the way that you have relationships now. And I have a quiz for you on this. It's free. I'll put a link to it in the top row of the description section below this video so that you can get your own copy of it. All right, next. They say, oh, you're really overthinking this. This is their attempt to get you to ignore the red flags that you're already seeing. Using your mind, noticing patterns, asking about their intentions. These are good things. This whole you're overthinking move is just them trying to shut down your intuition and your intellect, what is obvious to you. Now, another all-time favorite of manipulators is humans aren't really meant to be monogamous. So suddenly they're a historian, they're a sociologist, they're a philosopher, and every argument they make about patriarchy or the culture or evolution somehow ends with you being wrong for wanting loyalty. And it's amazing how many of these monogamy is outdated speeches happen right when they want to sleep around. You're not wrong for wanting commitment. All right, then there's the phrase that sounds profound. Oh, it's so profound, but it doesn't mean anything. And it goes like this. You ask a very real question like, did you sleep with someone else last night? And instead of getting an answer, you get, hey, you're too much in your head. Just get in the moment. It's all good. It's all good. It is what it is. That's my least favorite phrase categorically. Even just, it is what it is. Like, it says nothing, right? Anyway, this is not wisdom. This is deflection. And usually, yes, it means the answer to your question is, yes, they did sleep with someone else. Now, another manipulator move is when they try to re-explain your feelings to you, reframing them helpfully, right? You ask something simple like, are you open to marriage someday? And suddenly you're getting this whole speech about how what you're really feeling is childhood abandonment and you're projecting onto them and why can't you just be cool? No. You're allowed to ask clear questions about what you want. You can spot manipulation. You can drop it like a hot potato. That is cool. And finally, maybe the most damaging one, they tell you that what's hurting you is actually healing you. You know this line, pain is how we grow, or you're triggered because I'm your mirror. This is your lesson from the universe, honey. No. Someone who is never honest with you, never stable, never committed, that is not your teacher. That is not healing. And you are not powerless to leave. That feeling of powerlessness is trauma bonding kicking in, and you don't have to stay in it for one more second. Now, by the way, I wrote all of these signs down for you in a free PDF that you can download by clicking the link in the second line of the description section below this video. Now, when you're in doubt, when you're not sure about somebody, take this list with you so that you can check it every time you go to the ladies' room and just see manipulation clearly for what it is so that you can feel safe when it's safe, but see the red flag when there's a red flag. The truth is, manipulation only works when it's happening in the shadows, when you are blaming yourself, not looking at it, trying to earn their love, trying to keep things together. But once you see what these phrases really mean, that whole dynamic just collapses. You can step out of the spiral. You can choose real connection, real honesty, real love when you stop tolerating anything less. If you like this video, I've got one that you're going to love right here, and I'll see you very soon. Today, what's happening is your own behavior. And the worse you were hurt back then, the more likely it is that you have a pattern of hurting yourself now.